Dear sisters, I've been dating a lady for almost 5 years, and we were or are preparing to get married. 2 years ago, however, I found out that she had been cheating on me with 3 different guys on different occasions, and another one whom she claimed was a childhood friend who stayed abroad. She cheated on me with a guy when he visited Ghana back in 2018. When I confronted her about what I had found out, she narrated everything and asked for forgiveness. I thought it wise to forgive her and move on with her because I felt she had regretted her actions. To my surprise, I found out recently that she has been chatting with her so-called childhood friend whom she cheated on me with. When I asked her about it, she told me they're just friends now, but the kind of things I saw in the chat were not friendly. She has also become very arrogant. She does not regard me at all. These incidents have made me lose my trust in her, but I am still in love with her so much. I'm a victim of a broken home, and I don't want my children to go through the same kind of pain I went through when I was growing up. Due to the above incidents, I have become so confused and scared to go ahead with a marriage. Please advise. And that's our first message for today. Let me come in studio. Gil, since you're a superstar for the moment, I'll throw this right to you.
Wow.
I mean, what do you think? She's been a cheat for a while now. She's confessed to it. It doesn't seem like she's moved on with this childhood friend who's in the picture.
Wow.
And this guy is having doubts as to whether he'll continue. If it was your brother, what would you advise him to do?
I mean, what struck me is what he said about the broken home thing that he's worried about. But if this is the path you're on with her, obviously, if you go ahead and get married to her, you're definitely going to have a broken home because there's no trust. And trust is, should I say, the glue that binds a relationship. I mean, for lack of a better phrase. So if there's no trust, it shows that there's a problem between you and her, for her to be seeking, should I say, satisfaction or fulfillment elsewhere, even after you caught her, even after you caught her with someone else and then she's still communicating with that person, it shows that there's a big problem between, you and her. So I think the guy should rather focus on why she's not being fulfilled with him, but finds it elsewhere. So maybe there's something that he's doing wrong. It could be their communication. It could be that because he's all the way there and she's in Ghana, right? Mm-hmm. So the long distance relationship thing is always very, very difficult because it's not only about I love you, you love me, and we have a connection or what, but it's also about spending time with the person.
Yeah, he's in Ghana.
Oh, he's in Ghana. She's out there.
No, they're both in Ghana. But she has a link to a childhood friend.
Who came from Ghana
who lives abroad.
Okay.
He came to Ghana in 2018 and they had a thing going, which her current boyfriend has found out about.
So when he came down and then she had an affair with the guy.
That's right.
Okay, forgive me then. I thought it was a long distance thing. So then, you see, what I always say is that when there's a problem in a relationship, there's always the roots of the problem, not the smoke, but the fire itself, what caused the fire. And so like I was saying, it could be that they have a communication problem. It could be that there's something that he's doing that she's not really she doesn't like. Maybe they are not. This thing is coming off.
I know. Don't worry. Just
it's
mass problems.
So I think that maybe they're not compatible in so many ways. It could be sexually. Maybe they're not compatible sexually. I feel that's what I'm thinking, and so maybe she's not able to communicate it well to the guy, or maybe he is not accepting or being accessible enough for her to let him know how she feels. So maybe she has a better connection with that guy. And you realize that she said he found out and confronted her before she admitted to it.
Right.
So obviously, if he didn't confront her, she will still continue doing. And so, having said all of that, I feel like there's no trust. They're not on the same page, and for someone to think of getting married to someone, it should be based on how connected both of you are before you can say, I want to make it official. So if he's having all these doubts, especially about trust, which is the main thing in a relationship, I think he doesn't have to go ahead and marry her. Right. I think he should take a step back, because when you do that, you're able to see things clearly. Someone once told me that when you know, there's this game, I think it's baseball, I think.
Okay.
When you're about to bat the ball, you're told to look away for a second, I think, before you bat the ball. That means when you look away and then you look back, it makes you see things clearly.
I see.
So I always apply that to anything I do. That when I'm in a situation where everything is all over the place, I step back a bit, from it, and then look at it from a different angle, and then ask yourself, is this what I want? Does she possess the standards that I'm looking for in a partner? Obviously, it's not going the way he wants. So I think he should just step back.
Right.
I think, because obviously there's no trust here.
All right. Tina, what do you think?
Okay, so I think this is a clear situation of a woman taking her partner for granted. Just because she knows that he's into her. So you've given her love, you've shown her everything you can, you've been supporting her in everything, and then she cheated on you. You still forgave her because you thought that, okay, she was going to give everything up and, stay on the straight and narrow. But then, alas, she goes back to whoever she thinks. And I think it's because she takes you for granted. The situation is that it will continue. That's the fact of life. Because, there's no consequence really to what she has done. Like, you haven't shown her that, listen, you can't take me for granted. You haven't said that, listen, I can't do this anymore. You only said,
I forgive you.
I forgive you. And when she came back, it was like, and you said something that she's arrogant. She's now arrogant. She's throwing herself about. So this is somebody who clearly is not interested in what's going on. Your love is on two different platforms. You are way up there and she is down here somewhere. Somebody else has taken her interest. And unfortunately for people, I won't even say just women, when things are far away and out of reach, we think that it is more interesting than what we have like at the moment. So maybe the kind of conversations and stuff like that she's having with this person abroad, she feels like it's more engaging than you. She sees you every day. Probably you're not doing something right, like Gil was saying. So this is what I think you should do. I think you should have a conversation with her that you want to take some time off, or you just are not happy with the situation going on. Don't give her the chance to leave you. Don't say that if she doesn't want the thing anymore, she should go. But tell her you can't do this anymore.
Right.
Her position or her posture when you have that conversation will make you know whether she really wants this or not. So have that conversation, definitely. Let her know that you really love her. You really want this to work. You're coming from a background where, lay everything on the table, but by all means, it should be a serious conversation, right, so she knows that this is no joke, And then her posture, the way she says things to you, if her arrogance comes to play at that conversation, you know that this is not for you. Don't waste your time. It's painful, but move on.
Yeah. All right, Livy, let me come straight to you. I mean, the ladies have said quite a bit. What are your thoughts? Do they differ?
My thoughts, this one, no long terms, gentleman and co. Because, do you know what I think? This is exactly what happens when people don't completely end previous relationships. Her childhood sweethearts, they had a thing going on and all of that. And she didn't completely disconnect, or she didn't completely break up with this guy. How many years down the line, she decides to move on, but she still has some kind of ties with this other person. So my question is, did she get into her next relationship out of convenience? Did she genuinely love the guy for who he is? With what motive did she enter that particular relationship? And this childhood sweetheart comes back, and all of a sudden, she's forgotten about the time, the sacrifice, the love, all this guy is putting into the relationship that they're in. I mean, for crying out loud, this guy is ready to marry you like yesterday. And she doesn't see it. Now she's become arrogant. Not only did she cheat on you, this guy, emotionally, but she actually cheated on you. Like, she did both. Emotionally, she's not with you. Intimately, she's not with you. I mean, the girl has crossed the equator. There's no way she's coming back. And I don't see why you should be investing a lot of money into marrying her, and then how many years down the line you end up investing more money into divorcing her. This relationship ain't going nowhere, my guy. Like, I'm sorry, it's hard, but this is not what love is supposed to do. This woman already, right, the marriage hasn't started and she's arrogant. She can't stand you because she's madly in love with somebody else. So who are you exactly to her? Wait, no long terms. You know what? If I were you, right, I'll just go to her and tell her that, Charlie, you forgave her the first time, which is amazing. Like, I don't know how many guys will do that, because for me, I feel like if she was able to cheat the first time, right, and then she claims to have changed, and she still hasn't changed, what makes you think that putting a ring on her finger and tying her down for the next 20 years, she's going to be faithful? Like, that is a recipe for disaster. I always say that. If you're in a relationship and you manage to stay faithful and you treat that relationship as though it was a serious one, as though it was marriage, and you are faithful, the tendency that you stay faithful in your marriage is high. The temptations will come. Charlie, whether you're married, you're not married, temptations will come. But at least it's a habit you've built over time. You've been able to build that discipline in the relationship. So it makes it easier for you to follow through. Okay, I'm not saying that, temptations won't come. They will always come. But Charlie, once you're disciplined and you know that, Charlie, this is the person I've decided to be with, then at least you have your head screwed on properly. My guy, cancel the wedding. Don't marry her. Love is sometimes overrated. Yes, you think you love her today, right? This woman is going to turn you into something else that you don't want to be. You marry her, she will cheat on you, she will disrespect you. If she marries you, she's marrying you because society demands that, she has to marry, and Charlie, or maybe the guy that she's with is not ready to marry her. My thing is, she should decide, is it you or is him? But clearly, it's not you. First time you give her a chance, I don't think you should be wasting your time. Don't waste your heart. It hurts, I know, but you will recover. You will find somebody who respects you, who appreciates your love, who loves you as a person with no reason. Okay, but for now, looking at the background from which you're coming in, break up, you don't want that for your children, and just let that be your motivation. And like they always say, success is good revenge. Success is the best vengeance you ever want to get, okay? So right now, cancel the wedding. This is what I think. Cancel the wedding. Try and stay focused. If you're working, decide to put a lot of energy into working, and like be more in terms of, don't jump quickly into the next relationship. Okay, give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to chill, and take your time and find somebody. I know it's hard finding a good person, but there are good people out there, and you will find a good person. For now, don't jump into this marriage. It is not worth it, my dear. You will find that person who will love you for you, and you'll have an amazing life, and your children will have a stable home. But one thing I would also advise is that, like I always say, just ask God for the spirit of discernment. Me, that's what I did. I knew there were all sorts of guys out there. So I just asked God, actually, I don't know who is a player. I don't know who is coming in to want to sleep with me. I don't know. People get into relationships with all sorts of reasons. So I just prayed to God, give me the spirit of discernment to be able to discern who is right and who is not. And to open us who will see the time out. I'm to take a time out. And then God gave me one person who is good. And I am happy and I have peace of mind. And I think you can also get that. So I went to a wise God enough.
Nice one. Well, my dear guy, I think all the ladies are singing the same song. I personally think it's not help you need, You just need to wake up because you're sleeping. No, seriously. And Tina, you say this sometimes, where sometimes tell your own story to yourself with a different ear.
And you see how it sounds.
Yeah.
How
Ridiculous
yeah.
it sounds.
Yeah, it's true.
It sounds like
It's true.
it's so obvious. She doesn't respect you. She's cheated on you before. I feel like she's bored. She's uninterested or disinterested. Only reason she's staying around is she hasn't found some. If that guy abroad was in Ghana, she would have left you. Trust me.
Yeah.
She hasn't found someone else to fill in that vacuum. That's the only reason she's still with you. You cannot marry such a woman. Take it from the sisters, okay? And let us know the outcome. We really want to know. In the meantime, there's some comments. Ben says, to avoid a broken home is more reason why you should leave her. Michael says, we don't marry because of love. Oh. If you truly want to be happy or have a happy family, then forget about love and choose character over love. Maoli says, I'm surprised you're mentioning marriage in this kind of relationship. You're only joking with your own emotions. What love? Lungu says, just ditch her. She's trouble and will be a thorn in your flesh your whole life if you marry her. Nee says, certainly she can't be your helpmate. You can't send anything to your home as a man. Forget her and you will get someone who will regard you. Akusia says, quit the relationship immediately to safeguard your future. This lady won't change even when you marry her. Save yourself from another broken home in future. Nana says, you're not even married to her and you're talking about broken home. Sitting at my shop in Kofredia, I see why she's cheating on you. You are like late news. Papa says there's no confusion here. You want to break up with her, but your heart doesn't want to let go.
Yeah.
If you continue this relationship with her and get married to her, your children will eventually experience that broken home. Kwame says trust is like glass. Once broken, it can never be mended. Yeah. If a woman is sleeping with another man, then it's obvious she loves that man more than you. So move on. And finally, Mauli says, are you afraid that you will waste the 5 years of dating or what? You're a victim of a broken home, so common sense should be applied here. She has become very arrogant and does not regard you at all. My brother, all these are red flags that you don't need a prophet to tell you to run out of this relationship. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite Citi TV. Now don't forget, if you want some more exciting content, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We call it the Citi Tube. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications for fresh updates.
Sister Sister, every Friday at 9 p.m. only on Citi TV.